Let's see.
Recording in progress.
All right. Well, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And I am grateful to have you here today. And John, if you can just lead us in an opening song, I will have you do that, please.
I am freezing up here.
I see that.
And I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying the Microsoft browser this time because I've had trouble with the other ones, and now this one's screen. To the screen, to the share. Oh, there. Finally. I finally got access to the share button here.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes. Okay, we've got Joy is Wonderful. Joy in the morning, joy in the afternoon, joy in the evening, joy again soon. When we are happy, joy is how, joy is wonderful, joy is now. Joy in our homes, joy in our work, joy in relationships, joy at our birth. When we are happy, joy is how, joy is wonderful, joy is now. Joy in accomplishment, joy in getting done, joy in doing well, joy in having fun. When we are happy, joy is how, joy is wonderful, joy is now, joy is now.
Thank you, John. And as I held the candle and the igniter in my hand this whole time, anyways, I want to light a candle with 2 wicks. The first wick I light represents God. The second one represents us as community. And as we gather together, we shine a greater light. And okay. So today I am the speaker, and I am going to be speaking about, what's the wording that I'm looking for? Faith and fear. What's the difference? Or, whatever you want to talk about it. So that's what I'll be talking about today. And next week it will be Tim will be speaking, and you're doing the famous.
It'll be Your Inner Power, the Wisdom of Emmett Fox.
Emmett Fox, that's who it is. Okay, thank you. All right, and then the week after that will be Carol Ann. And Michael, he's gone this week. I sent him off on the plane yesterday. after he did a wedding the wedding started at, well, supposed to start at 3:30. It was closer to 3:45 by the time it started. And his plane left at 6:15 to go into Chicago. Well, we were there, like, fortunately it's a short wedding. So, but it was storming. Oh my goodness. I'm I'm walking around. Oh, it was Akron, Canton, so it was not a problem. Yeah, but it was so much easier. So, but the problem was that I'm out. Didn't they ended up not having it outside, obviously because of the storm. They had it inside where they were going to have the reception at, and everybody had their assigned seating. Well, I didn't have an assigned seat, so I sat outside under the porch, where the caterers were and all that. All of a sudden, this crack of lightning or crack of thunder goes, and I'm holding my cane, my metal cane, and I'm like, oh, no, let's put this, let's sit this down. I put it, hung it on the table that I was sitting next to, and said, okay, that's it, no more. We're not going to do that. So, but yeah, so we were. I was impressed. I had him, and I had him at the airport by 4:20. I was home by 5 or 4:45 or something like that. So I couldn't complain at all. So, all right. So anyways, that's what's going on with them. And then I did just say Carol Ann had told me she's not going to be here. So it's going to be a good week. And I want to send this on over to John and have John do a opening meditation or a song, I should say.
All right. We are life and awareness, love, caring, and art. True peace and beauty are in the heart. Hear the music, feel it ring, sounds of beauty, free to sing. If we agree together with a peaceful mind, the future will be better as we are wise and kind. Hear the music, feel it ring, sounds of beauty, free to sing.
And as we gather together, I am going to read this from Ernest Holmes. And he says, faith acts like a law because it is a law. It is the law of mind and action. When we realize that this no longer, when we realize this, we no longer feel that we must have faith in ourselves as isolated beings, but rather that as human beings, we are included in the great law of life. Then we can rest in complete confidence that our words spoken in this faith are the presence and the power and the activity of spirit in us. All effect to make things happen or concentrate the mind is put aside. In a quiet childlike acceptance, we make known our requests with thanksgiving. We are one with God. Nothing can separate us from the source. Letting our faith be in God's presence and power, we can each say, all that I am and all that I do is the divine presence is expressing itself through me. The thoughts I think and the words I speak are the life and the truth because God speaks them through me. Of myself, I give no authority to my prayer, but the child of the God in me knows that the authority of the Almighty brings to pass the words that I speak. I speak the word of health for my body, my feelings, and my thoughts, knowing that the Father within is the power that brings the wholeness into complete being. I speak the word of the divine guidance, and the wisdom of the universe wells up as a beacon to lead me into the paths of right useness, to make straight and clear my everyday path. I speak the word of joy, and the Father within me frees from loneliness and sadness. I speak the word of the peace to the world and know that peace of God realizes in the hearts and the minds of all that is in the nation. And as I continue, I just know that there is only that one power, that one light, that one presence, the one mind, spirit, creative power, universe, all that is, whatever you want to call it, God, that it is now, here, this moment, and we are recognizing that love, light, life, peace, joy, beauty, power, and wisdom are all attributes of spirit. And that attributes of spirits are also ours because they are ingrained within us through spirit, since we are part of spirit, each and every one of us. So as we meet together today, I just know that John with his music and Hannah with the Facebook feed and the Tim and Kyle and the ones that can't be with us today, that all is well. Today is a great day, that love and peace and joy and peace just flow through us, in us, and as us. And I give thanks. I give thanks for today. I give thanks for the beauty of today. And I now release my word into the law, knowing I have spoken it, and so it is. Amen.
The music
sounds of beauty, free to sing. Peaceful, kind awareness, love, caring, and art. True peace and beauty are in the heart. True understanding is in the heart.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, John. And as we open our eyes, please take a moment to look into the camera and just try to see the magnificent being within you, the spirit. See that beauty and that joy. And there's Kyle. All right. So that was a new song, John, wasn't it?
We've done it once, at least once before.
Okay, maybe once, but you haven't done it very often. It was beautiful. So, okay. Well, thank you, everyone. And I will get into my talk here. We're going to be talking about faith or fear. What is it? So I pulled up from Ernest Holmes in the glossary. This is what he says. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Does anybody recognize that? That's from the Bible, by the way. Galatians 2:8, I believe, if I remember right. But he says, faith is a mental attitude so inwardly embodied that the mind can no longer deny it. Faith is complete when it's both a conscious and a subjective acceptance. Faith may be consciously generated in the spiritual terminology. Faith means a belief in the presence of an invisible principle and law which directly and specifically responds to us. And then he has in quotes, thy faith has made thee whole. So then I picked up his, what he had down for fear. And he has fear, perfect love casts out fear. Fear not, little flock, it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Fear is the antithesis of faith. It is the negation of confidence. Like faith, fear may be conscious or subjective, and it may be eliminated. It must be removed both consciously and subjectively. So basically what they're saying is faith is an invisible power, an invisible substance, you can't actually see faith. You can feel faith, you can see it and experience it. You can see in your life as you put faith into your belief, things get better. But same with fear. Fear is just the opposite of faith. So fear can also be brought into your life. And it's an invisible substance too. Now sometimes there are good reasons for fear. I mean, physical situations or whatever, but sometimes we bring things on worse for ourselves than we should. So they're opposites of each other. So I was looking for acronyms for both. And so I pulled up an acronym site, and one of the things for faith is forwarding all issues to heaven, or full assurance in the heart, or full assurance in trusting him. I like this one, finding answers in the heart. That's faith. And my own personal one is full acceptance in true harmony is what faith is. And then what another acronym was fear. And just about everybody's heard this one, false evidence appearing real. Another one is finding excuses and reasons. Boy, do we do that. Find excuses and reasons. Another one is faith. Face everything and respond. That could be a good thing. If you face it and you respond instead of react, it makes a big difference. And faith, here's mine. False expectations are rubbish. That's my fear. So, okay. So Ernest Holmes talks a lot about faith. He has a whole chapter on it, on faith, and then he talks about it throughout his in different places in the text. Another place is in the chapter called the mental equivalence. So a few more things he says is faith has been recognized as a power throughout the ages, whether it be faith in God, faith in one's fellow man, or in oneself, or in what we are doing. The idea that faith has only to do with our religious experience is a mistake. Faith is a faculty of mind that finds its highest expression in the transcendent conditions and demonstrates an invisible law which has power above the visible. Insofar as our prayer is affirmative, it is creative, its desired results. So faith, we can have faith in ourselves and others. We can have faith in simple things as a light bulb or electricity. We have faith that when we hit the switch, the light is going to come on. We don't have to even think about it because it's an automatic thing. And then in this case, this is more of a law. But when the light bulb stops working or it starts blinking instead of actually shining the way it should, what we do is we go and we change the light bulb. So much like the way we have faith, sometimes it is just a matter of changing our perspective on faith. Sometimes we have to change our mind. We have to change the bulb to make it better. If we don't like what's happening, then we need to change it. But we also have to believe that in whatever it is that we really want and accept it. If you don't like it and you just have this fear about it instead, and what you don't realize is that you have now put your faith into the fear. A lot of times we don't realize that by putting our faith into the fear, that we're creating it to be more fearful or more fearful events automatically. We need to take the time to realize that faith is unwavering. It is knowing that whatever it is, it's already done. It's already taken care of. That even though we may not know exactly how it's going to be done, we know that the ultimate outcome is it's going to be done and it's going to be taken care of. Whereas fear can do the exact same thing, except we are turning it into much worse for ourselves. Because if we put a lot of belief into the fear of whatever the situation is, a lot of times we bring out a problem in the fear. I know, like with Michael, whenever we get in the car together, and sometimes even without him in the car, I usually do it out loud for myself, is that I do the prayer protection automatically. Just as a way of knowing that no matter what, wherever we're going, everything's going to be okay. Nothing's going to happen to our car. We're not going to run into an animal. Had that happened before, maybe we ran into aliens, who knows, it feels like it sometimes. But we do the prayer of protection, and we add a little extra to our little prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us, and wherever we are, God is. And not only God is with us through our journey, whatever it may be. For yesterday, it was Michael being safe going to Chicago, in the plane, to the plane, me taking him back and forth, the whole bit. Being able to get to get through the wedding and still have the wedding to be nice. And, we added all that. And the one day the last time I was coming back with him from picking him up from the airport up in Cleveland, I hit a little animal. So now I'm adding no little animals or creatures in our path either. I did not mean to hit it, but it was dark and it just came out of nowhere, and I felt bad about the little creature. But that is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. But it's necessary for me in the fact that it helps me believe that everything is going to be okay. That no matter what we do, no matter what the situation, it's already taken care of. All I have to do is believe that it's done, that it is definitely taken care of. Faith, this is from Ernest Holmes again. Faith has been recognized as a power throughout the ages, whether it be faith in God, faith in one's, didn't I just say this? Okay, no, I guess not. Faith in the one fellow man, it's oneself or one of what one is doing. The idea that faith has only to do with our religious experience is a mistake. We talked about this already. I'm sorry. I bypassed the page. I went back to the same page. But what is fear? Nothing more or less than the negative use of faith. Faith misplaced, a belief in two powers instead of one, a belief that it can be a power opposed to God, whose influence and ability may bring us evil. In other words, to correct all the evils of the world would be to have the positive faith rightly placed, a faith that lay holds of the integrity of the universe, the the beneficence of God and the unity of all life. Nevertheless, we cannot have faith in that which we do not have some sort of measure of understanding. So, yeah, I get where he's saying that we have to have a little bit of understanding of it in the first place. So hopefully, I'm thinking of a baby. Baby's born, mom and dad's taking care of it, and whenever it makes a noise or it says or it cries or gives some sort of indication that it's in distress, maybe it's hungry, maybe it needs a diaper change, maybe it just needs to be held, whatever it is, we automatically, the parent almost always automatically reacts to it in some way, shape, or form, whether it's to feed them or change the diaper or whatever. So that little person, that little being, has its faith in the parent to take care of it, to help allow it to grow and to nurture. So just like the baby has faith in the parent, we should have faith in spirit or God. So there's so much I could be talking about, but I'm going to go down to there was in the middle, the section on mental equivalence. He called it the prayer of faith. And I'm just going to kind of read this. It says, no class of people on earth believes more in prayer than we do. Our whole theory is based not only on the belief of spirit, but in the availability of it. Theory is based not only, I got off my line here. The theory is based not only on the belief in spirit, but in the availability of it. Its immediate response, we can go so far as to say in everyday language, pray right, and God cannot help responding. Pray right, and God cannot help responding. This is as far as anyone can go in faith. There is no confusion in the approach to reality. It should be calm and dispassionate, but filled with feeling, because the feeling and emotion are creative. We should combine the letter and the spirit of the law. Faith is the power of prayer. Now, what is it? What is faith? When you analyze faith, you find that it is a mental attitude against which there is no longer any contradiction in the mind that entertains it. Unfortunately, we find there is great faith in fear. Faith in the fear that one may lose his position, faith and fear that one may lose material possessions, faith and fear that one may lose his health, and so on. If the mental attitude in the relationship of God, that is faith in God. If it is a relationship to one's ability to write a poem, then that is faith in its one's creative ability. And in big, bold letters, he has, faith is a mental attitude which is now conceived. No, which is so, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Faith is a mental attitude which is so convinced of its own idea, which so completely accepts it, that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. It is impossible to think of something else. You know it's going to be. You don't put anything in there. So before such a mental attitude can be created, there must be nothing left in the subjective state of our thought, which contradicts our obvious affirmation. Faith is a mental assertion elevated to a plane of realization. It is beyond the mere quibbling or mumbling of words, for it identifies itself with reality in such manner that reality becomes real to the believer. The invisible becomes visible into the mind and to the unseen unseen real. Faith is real to the one who experiences it and cannot be denied to the mind of the one who has proven it. And what is this faith we should have? We should have faith that there is but one mind. This mind is both the mind of man and the mind of God. We use the mind of God since there is only but one mind. This mind is the essence of creativeness and essence of goodness. It is available to us all. It has no respecters of persons. No respecter of persons, and I'm sorry, and I just went off the thing. No respecters of persons. It has no respecter of persons since it is already incarnated through all. It is in all and through all. Faith will not be denied, will not take no for an answer. It speaks in an affirmative language. Faith knows that the universe is a spiritual system, that man is a part of that system. It knows that man's environment is also part of the system, because the system is perfect and the condition may become perfect and would be perfect if it were known to be so. Faith knows the life of man is God and the birthless and the deathless reality of all being. So I'm going to leave it at that. You please look at the chapter on faith in the Science of Mind text and then mental equivalence, but take the time to realize that once we experience something and we put our faith in it, and we see that because we put our faith there, we see it happen. So if we don't like what is happening, let's change our thinking. Let's change our thought. And then believe whatever it is that you need to change is already on its way. It's already happened. So with that, I'm going to end my talk and allow anybody to make any questions or comments.
Well, yes, faith is in the ultimate awareness, as I call it, is where we put our life. That's our center of being. And but there's unfortunately a lot of false information in the world that we tend to believe and put false faith into, I guess we'll say, like government and many of the proclamations of government and media and much more. Very deceptive field of play we're in, but the ultimate faith goes beyond all that, and that's what we want, is our faith in reality, and that's God, or great conscious awareness, love, the essential.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments at this point? Okay. Well, if not, then John, if you'd like to do a song.
All right. Well, this is one that goes back a ways till 1980, And
Wow.
it's one of the songs on my CD album that you've heard before, and we play it once in a while. We've been waiting for this fog to pass away. We've been waiting for the darkness to subside. We are building the road of a new day. Don't seem to know whether to go or whether to hide. Are we too busy? Are we too stressed? Or don't we know what to do? Who to be or where to go? It's time to understand, find out where we stand. It's time to understand and do what we can. We're the first young sprouting of a new spring. We're making the garden ready for the crop to come. We're renewing our bodies and minds and everything with the power of love. It will be done. It's time to understand, find out where we stand. It's time to understand and do what we can. There's a brand new feeling in the air. It's a clean and healthy breeze blowing by. There are more of us than ever starting to care. Taking a nice deep breath before we fly. It's time to understand, find out where we stand. It's time to understand and do what we can.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Beautiful. So it's just the time in our service where we give everybody the opportunity to give. So if you would like to give, you can go to Zelle and you would go to sscofakron@gmail.com. That's sscofakron@gmail.com. And you can give that way through Zelle. Or you can send a check to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. And you can send it there. Just make sure it says Summit somewhere on there, either whether it be Summit Spiritual Center, Summit CSL. Just make sure the word Summit's there. And we'll make sure that it gets into our accounts, and we do appreciate that. So let's just know that all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is blessed in a very special way. That it is being blessed, and it is not only being blessed to each and every individual that gives, but it is also becoming a blessing for the world. So with that, I just give thanks. And so it is. All right, John, how about good, more good?
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Oh, good, more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
Thank you, John. And now it's that time for announcements. So for next week, Tim is going to be talking about Emmett Fox. And so make sure you are here. Go ahead, Tim. No? Okay. Just
Make sure you're here.
Yeah, make sure you're here because Tim won. He's a very good speaker. And I always find something interesting when he brings up these icons of New Thought. that it's always very good. So we invite you to be there. And then I'll do Michael's thing and to have you check out New Thought Media. There's lots of things there, and Michael has his thing on Friday nights, the fireside chat. It's at 8 p.m. on New Thought Media in Eastern, and that's about all I have. Tim or John, I'm sorry.
YesWise.com. I do my blog, and I'll be adding some new features before too long, maybe here in September. But YesWise.com. And next week we'll follow Tim down the foxhole, looking for rabbits and foxes.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought of that.
Since we're going to be talking about Emmett Fox, yeah, we're going to be following down that hole. That's a good point. Oh, there's another kitty. Which one is that? Is that little one? Oh, Buddy, the little one, the one that had been so tiny, and wow, he's gotten big.
What a cute cat.
Wow. How wonderful. He likes your hair. All right. So, well, with that, unless there's any other announcements, then we will do our moment of silence. And this is a time where you can take into mind whether you need healing, family member, yourself, the world, and just see that it's already done and recognize that it is already taken care of. And I'm going to bring us in and I'll bring us out. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of We are the people of peace. We are the people of peace. Sing out, people, sing out peace. We are the people of peace. We are the people of joy. We are the people of joy. Sing out, people, sing out joy. We are the people of joy. We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of love.
Okay, thank you so much, and be here next week to hear Tim's talk. And anyway, so with that, I'm going to end our recording, and Hannah, you can